Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in BILVAVI, MISHKAN, EVNEH. We're speaking about this concept that together with your Torah and Tefillah, a person can be completely immersed in the world of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no matter what they are doing in their world of Avodas Hashem. Lulei Zais, if a person would not introduce Tefillah prayers into his learning, when a person is learning Torah, a person could forget HaKadosh Baruch Hu completely from the tremendous depth that he's plumbing inside of his learning. A person gets so involved in the iyun, so involved in the deeper lamdish learning of his Torah, he could totally forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then God forbid, he could come to a great danger. And then even when he gets up from the sefer, meaning he stopped learning, it's possible that he could forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu altogether, even when he's not learning. And therefore, the proper way for a person to learn is the way that we mentioned above. And that way, when you are learning and you mispala, you daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help me Hashem, I want to understand the words of Torah. I'm stuck on something, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help me get through this so that I'll be able to master the Gemara, whatever it is that I'm learning right now. So then in such a way, says BILVAVI MISHKAN EVNEH, you are going to be Mekasha, you will connect yourself to the Rabbi Shalom while you are in the midst of learning, and not, God forbid, the opposite, that you'll be so entrenched in the learning, you'll forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu altogether, and you'll end up being disconnected from Hashem after you just learned the most amazing thing, which is the Seichel Elokis, which is Hashem's mind itself. This is nothing new, says BILVAVI, that a person, I'm not introducing some new idea and concept over here that you should daven while you're learning and you should turn your heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu so you'll be connected to Hashem. I'm not making this up. This is exactly the way the Chazon Ish, the holy and the saintly genius, the Chazon Ish, the Gadol Ador of his generation, the way that he learned. It's brought in his biography, the stories of the Chazon Ish, anytime the Chazon Ish was stuck on a question in his learning, or he had a difficulty in understanding something, he would go to the corner of the room, he would begin pouring out his heart, and we begin davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help me, merit me, that I should understand, that I should be wise, and understand this, to understand these words of the Gemara, these words of the Rishonim, these words of the Shulchan Aruch, the Halacha. Let me understand it properly in the right way. This is the Chazon Ish. Genius should be genius, the wisest of all men, and yet he understood that when you get stuck on something that you simply can't understand, your mind is trying to grasp the eternal divine wisdom of the Torah, you need to turn to the giver of the Torah himself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and ask, please Hashem, help me understand. And it's clear now to every person of intelligence. You don't have to turn and go into the corner in order to accomplish this. Each person should do according to what his nefesh, his soul desires, how they tell him to. How you can even do this while you're sitting in front of the sefer, in front of the book. Turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with your words, in your mouth, daven to Hashem, or with your thoughts. Inyan tefillah b'machshava imahanihu inyan amok va'inkan makom l'harich. He writes in parentheses over here, this idea that tefillah works, prayer works, even when it's only in your mind, you don't express it with your lips. It's a very deep concept, and this is not the place for us to expound upon it right now. V'yevakesh mimenu yizbarach shemo, but nevertheless, and notwithstanding, whichever way you do, whether you be like the Chazon Ish, and you stand up from your safe and you go into the corner, you begin pouring out your heart to Hashem, or you're more comfortable sitting in front of the Gemara that's opened, and you begin pouring out your heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nevertheless, v'yevakesh mimenu yizbarach shemo, you have to demand and request from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, she'azrehu lahaskil es haTorah HaKadosha, please HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help me to be able to understand your holy Torah. And this says BILVAVI, this is what a person, if he wants to be truly connected in Torah, he has to infuse it with tefillah, with his prayers, because that way you're talking to Hashem. It's not only the Torah, which is Hashem talking to you, it's you talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the relationship between the Yid and HaKadosh Baruch Hu continues every single step of the way in our holy learning, in our holy tefillahs, in our holy life of a Yid who's Isaac, who's involved in Avodas Hashem. Have a wonderful day.